In this video, we are going to talk about a nootropics consulting client of ours who we could not get to respond to nootropics, but that we fixed one thing, and now he's responding to everything. I think you're gonna wanna stick around for this because this is totally awesome. Coming up. All right, let's just do 30 seconds of product pro because I really want to get to this topic because it's really important. Number one, we got a stack. It's called Cortex. It's powerful. Want to turn your brain on? Go to livecortex.com. Get it right now. It's $29.99 for the rest of this weekend if you're watching this on November 5th, 6th. If you enter the coupon code 5, it takes it down to $24.99. It's cheapest it's ever been. You got to get it at livecortex.com. Number two, we wrote 3 digital guides. They mostly have stacks of them that are very powerful. Get them at livecortex.com. Lastly, we do nootropics consulting. 40-minute call with me, 15 additional email correspondences. That's $65. Then we do a higher level consulting. It's $5,000 for executives and very high level folks within business. And that's like a very, very comprehensive nootropics consulting package. Anyway, so that's the product pro. So let's talk about what we did for this guy. We have a consulting client called, let's call him Larry. This guy is a relatively high position in a big giant company, like a Fortune 500 company. And he called upon me, coming across our videos on nootropics and was like, do you have, I've got some energy issues and I've been reading about nootropics and I've tried, modafinil, tried adrafinil, tried some of these racetams and none of them really are doing it for me. So, can you help me? So we agreed to help him and this is what we found. First of all, I want to say that when we've run through all the things that we suggest people do when they don't respond to nootropics, like taking B vitamins and taking magnesium and calcium and zinc, and trying to figure out how to optimize their sleep, and then looking at whether or not they process drugs way too quickly or way too slowly. When we've looked at all those normal things that we do when people don't respond to nootropics, so we can get them to respond to nootropics, and none of them worked. There's 2 things that I look at thereafter. Number one, it's thyroid functionality, whether or not they're producing adequate thyroid hormone. And the second is blood glucose. That tends to be the most prominent thing that I see with folks. And what it turns out, so I asked the guy, do you have a glucometer? Do you measure it? And he goes, no, but when I went to the doc last, he told me I was pre-diabetic, pre-diabetes. That essentially my postprandial blood glucose, which is measuring your blood sugar levels 2 hours after a meal, is essentially high, exceptionally high. So somewhere around 250 milligrams per deciliter for those of you who understand the metrics and the terminology behind diabetes and blood sugar. And so he said that kind of oh yeah, well my doctor said that, and that's we just he just recently got it diagnosed and they want to put him on metformin or something, a drug called metformin. I think it was called metformin, and so right away though, I was like, okay, this is more than likely the problem. So I asked him, look, you can follow the route of the medical establishment. You can let them do what they do and giving you that, and eventually you might need insulin or something. Or you could let me give you some suggestions on things to do. If you think it's risky, okay, it's totally up to you. What do you want to do? But I guarantee you I can help you. And he goes, let's give it a shot. So basically what we did for him is in his diet was relatively refined carbohydrates. We took most of the refined stuff out with a little, we left some sugary granola in, later on at night. You got to leave room for that stuff. You can still control your blood sugar otherwise. And we basically put him on, a diet of slower burning carbohydrates. We didn't remove the carbohydrates. That's, I think, a big mistake people make. We put them on sweet potatoes, yucca root, things that take a very long time and keep your blood sugar relatively stable. Oatmeal is another one of them, old-fashioned oats. And that's essentially the extent of it. But the other major thing we did is got him lifting weights. For those of you doing any research around this, muscle is some of the most metabolically active stuff. It constantly draws glucose into it. It is one way to just irrefutably control glucose functionality. So we got him lifting dumbbells, doing chest and doing overhead arm presses and doing bicep curls and a few other things, and we changed his diet, and within a month the guy went from 250 milligrams per deciliter postprandial 2 hours after meal, which is pretty high and considered diabetic or pre-diabetic, to right around 130 milligrams per deciliter, which is basically normal, all things considered. It is within the range of normal folks that do not have blood glucose problems. And guess what? Not only did the dude have so much more energy and felt so much more better and regained his zest for life, but now he started responding to everything, all the nootropics that we were giving him. And we solved the problem by solving a blood glucose problem, okay? So I want to say to folks, we have to add this to the list of things that you got to try and you got to figure out if you're not responding to nootropics. And people aren't walking around with glucometers measuring their blood glucose, which is a mistake. I measure my blood glucose. My grandmother had diabetes, so I have to watch out for it. I eat slow burning carbs and lift weights, right? So, but I'm always measuring it. And I'm always trying to figure out, and you know what? When I go wonky on my diet, my numbers start looking a little funky and my energy starts to change. Then I know to get back on track. And then, then I start measuring and my numbers start to look great again and I start feeling amazing again. And so that's what we did. We fixed his blood glucose and now he responds to everything. The guy wanted to pay us more. He's like, dude, I want him. He's just happy with what we did for him here. And now we've got him taking oxyracetam and a few other nootropic stacks. And the guy's basically doubled his productivity at his job. He's killing it. He's like an older guy, 50-ish years old. So he's in this, in this mode where he's feels like he's 20 again and he's killing it. Okay, so let this be a lesson. Let Larry, our guy, be a lesson here. That, no nootropics are going to help you if you've got some other thing that's fussing with your energy and you've got to fix it. Blood glucose is absolutely one of those things. And whether it's, lifting weights and eating slow carbs, right, or doing whatever you think you want to do it, there is a way to address it for most folks if it's not too late. And that is just, that the whole thing was just real fucking interesting. And I hope you guys get some benefit from it. Thanks for watching. All right, everybody. Thanks so much for watching the video. Thanks for being with me. Ryan Michael Balla here. Check it out. These 4 are our powerful nootropic products. So start from the top. You're going to want to hear this. Number 1, the Cortex stack. That is our powerful pre-made stack. This is the stack you want to take if you want to get work done. Let me just be serious with you. I created that stack running a company 18 hours a day to get my brain to have massive verbal fluency, total motivation, right? Total overall mental fluidity, lots of mental energy, lots of drive to work. I mean, entrepreneurs need brain performance. We created that stack for people that really, really need brain performance and ain't messing around. The Cortex stack, get it at livecortex.com. You will love that stack. Those digital guides, we'll start from the Racetam God Guide. That guide is a digital stack list of some of the most highly effective brain state specific Racetam stacks on the planet. I mean, basically you're getting oxyracetam, piracetam, aniracetam, phenylpiracetam, coliracetam, faciracetam, nephiracetam, pramiracetam stacks, very powerful stacks of all those racetams laid out in that guide. The NuPep Pro stack list is a giant list of sublingual, oral, and nasal NuPep stacks. So we've got just myriads of lists of very specific, very surgical NuPep stacks that are highly effective, time tested. I mean, you take one of those stacks, your brain turns on, you will thank me. That thing is digital too. These are all digital, downloaded at livecortex.com. And then lastly, Smarter, Better, Faster is a digital guide that teaches anybody that's within the 1 to 2 year range of taking nootropics, how to take nootropics, how to think about taking nootropics, how to use nootropics surgically to really get optimal brain performance, to totally dominate the realm of nootropics. It gives you very many stacks, my favorite stacks, everything from modafinil, caffeine, theanine protocols to aniracetam, microdosing protocols to uridine, ALA, Alcar, choline stacks to basically everything else in between. If you want the most powerful stacks on the planet, if you want my personal stacks and my personal philosophy on taking nootropics, get the Smarter, Better, Faster guide. Get all these guides. Get all of this good nootropic stuff at livecortex.com. We make elite level nootropic products for elite level nootropic players. Are you one of them? Let's find out. livecortex.com. Make it happen. Thanks for being with me.